we set up at Gibbs is a combination device. And so there's an exclusion fence that kind of keeps the beavers out of the culvert. So the culvert exclusion fence is a specially designed fence with these awkward angles so that it kind of works against a beaver's natural instincts on how to dam it up. And so it kind of works like the water is flowing this way, and they like to dam up with the flow of water, not kind of as the water is going beside them. And so that sort of angle kind of is a little bit unnatural for the beavers to try and dam up. And then we also have that pond leveler that is with the pipe, a 40-foot pipe that is going into that fence. So in case the beavers do end up fencing around that the fence, the water's still able to go through. And so that's why we call it a combination device, because it's got the exclusion fence as well as the pond leveler. The pond levelers themselves, you just put into a dam, if there's just a dam, and then you put the pipe kind of into the dam itself, and then that's the water, it holds the water at that level, and so it allows it to drain a little bit, but then you don't need the exclusion fence. And so there's kind of, two different devices that we use for two different things. But often with the exclusion fences, we found that even with those tricky angles, the beavers can still be smarter than us and either get themselves into the fence or kind of build up around it. And so putting the pond leveler in there is just extra insurance that they really, even if they do block it up, that water will still be going through. It's not always a tested and true tool. It takes a lot of effort to put it in, and then it does take a little bit of effort to maintain it, because every year, especially after spring floods, you're gonna have to go and kind of clean out those fences and pick up any sticks that get stuck in there, and you do need to go back periodically to check to make sure that they haven't plugged it up, but often in the long run, if it's something that is a consistent flooding risk, that it's flooding roads every year, or they're plugging it up, a week after you've cleared it, it can be absolutely cheaper in the long run. And that's what we're trying to demonstrate with all of these sites that we're putting in, and hopefully this will become an accepted measure across the province. For a lot of folks, particularly producers, they rely on that water for off-site watering systems or watering their cattle. And it's a really good water source, especially in really dry years like this year. Some folks really like to keep them around just for the biodiversity that it brings. People like watching birds or butterflies, and just kind of, they're usually really pretty. So it depends on what you're looking for, but if you're wanting to keep it around, there's probably some value that people are looking for. And if it can alleviate some of these problem areas, then hopefully, we can keep some people a little bit happier and a little bit less busy with those backhoes. Yeah, they're just kind of a way to coexist with the beavers. Because even if you're not a huge fan of the beavers themselves, even if you get rid of them, they're probably going to come right back. So if you can find a way that you can coexist happily, hopefully, then these are just some tools that you can try to use.
So I guess it's been going on for years, ever since our bridge washed out and they put in culverts. The beavers have been basically plugging the area and having it flood into our yard since then. And on a yearly basis, basically people would come by and clear it, try different programs, nothing worked, and nothing really for long term. And unfortunately, ended up just being trapping the beavers and trying to deal with it by eliminating the beavers. And
which is not fun.
Which is not fun. And in the end, it's you ruin the ecosystem, and you're not really helping anything by doing that. So when Heidi approached us and basically told us about the Alice program and the fact that we could have a new way to deal with the beavers in a way that they could exist and we could have the water flow without it flooding our yard. To us, it just seemed like the best all around. and it would keep an ecosystem for all the wildlife we see there throughout the summer, and we could have a system where we're not wanting to go out and, you know, get rid of beavers all the time. So that's basically the whole process that led us to this. And once we started the process, it was great because we had lots of information, and also what was great is we had to do very little. So our summer is really busy for us, and the fact that the project was taken over and everything was basically put into play, and they contacted us on a regular basis to let us know how things were progressing. But you know, we didn't have to do a lot, but the final product looks great. We haven't had a chance to see it in full action yet, but it looks really good, and I just think it's in the right direction.